as I said, we are going to start and take a look at travels in Fayette County. Our first part of our exhibit is our train, showing you different parts of Fayette County. And obviously, there is our conductor who is standing, watching over his whole train system. We kind of take a look across. Back in the back right corner, Dennis, could you give us a little bit of an explanation?
That would be our industrial section. Fayette County naturally was a hub of coal mining activity, especially after 1870. In the 1870s, coal mining started in the northern part of Fayette County, and then in the southern Klondike, as it's referred to, it started at the turn of the century. And we have a slope that is bringing coal up from the mine. We have a tipple here. This is an entire industrial section, and it is located right along the Monongahela River.
Where, as you can see in the background, they also did ice skating occasionally.
Most people who live in Fayette County know that the Mon is only one of 3 rivers in the world that flow north.
Dorothy, what is the section that's right in front of us?
This is our representation of a small town in Fayette County. Of course, one where we have the housing that would be perhaps the house of a person that was a higher up in the railroad, or a higher up in the coal industry, or perhaps close to the river, could have been involved in the steamboat industry, or even at this time earlier, the national road that still kept the business running.
Brownsville and Connellsville were both hubs of activity. Both were centers of railroad activity, and especially Brownsville was a center of a riverboat or navigational activity. It was supposed to be Pittsburgh, and there was an old joke that Pittsburgh would never amount to anything because it was too close to Brownsville.
Okay, we also have a lot of photos showing some of the older railroad stops. Uniontown, Cheat Haven, Dunbar, Dunlop, the bridge, the Leckrone Bridge when it was being built, the B&O at Indian Creek. And then, Dorothy, maybe you can explain to us a little bit about the our tree and its ornaments.
Well, on a tree there were several train operations that ran through Fayette County. Of course, we had the Baltimore and Ohio that had several main lines and also several branch lines running through the county. And of course, we had the Pennsylvania Railroad, the Pennsy, yes, coming through and had different branches. One of the branches would be the Colley branch that ran through where the Rotary Walk is nowadays, and it ended up going past the Continentals, and the branch ended up meeting at Ake Station, where it met up with the Monongahela Railway, which was basically started for the coal hauling along the Monongahela River.
And the Mon Railroad, its main office was in Brownsville, and it ran from Brownsville to Fairmont, West Virginia.
Yes, and had branches that even went through to Footdale and places like that. And of course, some were serviced by the Pittsburgh and Lake Erie Railroad, so that would be another one. And also the Western Maryland had some trappage here in Fayette County also.
The room that you're in right now, normally, under normal circumstances, is the Stewart room, and Mary is panning a portrait of Tariff Andy, or Andy Stewart, as a middle-aged man. And in this room we have a small collection, or part of our collection, of stoneware, and we also have Gallatin glass on the other side of the room. Mary, you want to talk about the Witch's Ball?
We have what is called a witch's ball, which is kind of in the dark right there. It's a sphere, and what it is meant to do is to capture the witch, and then they're taken outside and released. So the house would be cleared of any witches that might exist.